All right. Let's let some people get in here, and then we are going to get started. What's going on, guys? You guys are so quick. Charles, what's going on? Potentially, we're going to get into that in a second. How's it going, Celine? It's going good. It's going good. Tired like always. Work is tough, but we make it through. I'm just happy to be on here talking about weather. And there's a decent amount of stuff to talk about. All right. Check, check. That looks good. How do I look on here? Check, check. All right, my volume's good. All right, we're gonna start here in just a second. I just fixed this. Oh no, I gotta go down to here. There we go. I'm telling you, this is kind of crazy looking. I'm telling you guys. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Yali? Feds, what's popping? Yali, what's popping? Is Georgia gonna get bad weather? I think so. We're gonna get into that. Give me 1 second. I'll let a little bit more people get in here. I appreciate whoever followed me. I didn't do anything yet. I might have to go get my glasses, guys. My eyes have been going bad lately. Swear, I can feel myself get blinder every day. Oh, where'd I get this pen from? That's a nice pen. Let me grab my why does this keep changing? This is so annoying. Go back to Radar Omega. Okay. Why does that keep changing? All right, let me grab my glasses so I can pretend I can see things. All right, chat. We've got some severe weather to talk about. I did. We had a great time. Thanks, Yali. Yeah, it was fun. Connor's Weather Dungeon, Connor's Temperature Corner, Connor's Tornado Tundra has entered the chat. Jersey Railroader, what's going on? Made all my stuff springtime themed. You noticed? Yeah, my friend Phil hooked it up. You know, got to stay up to date. All right, so yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Thoughts on this Friday outlook in southern Missouri, specifically. Okay, well, we'll just talk about the state because when it's this far out, when you're still over like 48 hours out, the zip code's not going to matter much because things are still going to move too much. Once we're within 48 hours, we can get down to a more local forecast. Some hail in North Carolina, possibly. Kyle, what's going on? Screw the weather, right? Wow. Well, first let's talk about our euro. Well, okay. I've got some. This is the sounding from the latest euro. Is anyone in my chat from Baton Rouge? Or Louisiana at all? Any Louisianans? Because this is a sounding from Louisiana potentially on Saturday afternoon. Few things stand out on here. One. Wait, let me see. Me? No, you're not. Louisiana here. Kylie. Few things stand out here. Your husband's there for work. This is Saturday afternoon. This is a sounding forecast for Baton Rouge, but this is going to be a Louisiana type development. High SRH values. High surface shear values. To have a significant tornado, an EF2 plus, you want to see this over 200. We're at about 281. You want to see this over 20. You're at about 37. Here's our SIG Tor param 3.6. You can get strong EF2 plus tornadoes at 1.5, basically. We're at a 3.6. We're like triple that. Double, 2.5 times it. We've got strong. We've got a significant amount of cape here. A lot of cape here. I mean, and then you can just see it if I move down here. Look at this. We almost have 3,000 joules per kilogram surface cape. Most unstable cape, almost around 3,000 joules per kilogram as well. This has all the signs of Patrick. I appreciate that, Patrick. Shout out to Patrick. Thank you for the sub, Patrick. This has all the signs of, I mean, you've got buoyancy, surface shear, some strong cape. So a little bit of a concerning look down there in Louisiana on Saturday. Let's go look. Let's see how this looks on the future radar. What's the scariest weather I've ever seen on a map? I've seen a high. Well, I saw earlier. I saw in January of this year, although it didn't end up being as damaging because it didn't really go over anywhere. But I saw something pretty. I saw a pretty crazy looking supercell that looked like it. I think it ended up being an EF3 tornado. I think was it in early January somewhere through eastern Tennessee. Honestly, I get it confused. But I saw that on radar just a couple months ago. That was pretty freaky. No, I've seen. I've covered high risk zone tornado outbreaks before and seen some monster tornadoes on the ground. Some mile wide, pretty significant tornadoes before. Those are spooky to see. I've seen Cape. I've seen Cape pushing over 4,500, which is insane. I'm doing good tonight. So anyways, let's look at this really quickly. Here's our 18Z Euro. Now, I see all the TikTok people saying bomb cyclone. This is a bomb cyclone. It's bomb cyclone. It's not a bomb cyclone. It's just it's a cyclone. To be a bomb cyclone, your pressure has to drop at least 24 millibars within a 24-hour period. I mean, this thing, it just doesn't do it. It starts low. You're at a 988. It gets down to like a 9. On the latest Euro, it brings this thing down to a 975. Pretty low. It's not a bomb cyclone. Here's your first event that starts to kick off right here. This would be Friday evening. And we're watching areas. Really, you could get severe weather up here all the way from southern Minnesota down through Iowa, Missouri, down through eastern Oklahoma, potentially northeastern Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. Friday evening, moving into Saturday morning. Now, this is going to move off east. This is Saturday at basically midnight, 1 a.m. We'll see the severe weather push off into the east a little bit, but here's where things start to get interesting. We start to develop another surface low down here almost a second severe weather system. Here's our main system up here. And this one could be very dangerous as well. Here it goes, shooting up here, starting really in Louisiana up through Mississippi. And this also we're seeing some pretty crazy parameters on. Let's take a look at our dew points there and our latest Euro. I'm looking at some of this for the first time with you guys on the 18Z. So there's your first one. You can see the cyclone. You can see it moving up. There's your first one, and then here's your second big push there. These are some crazy dew points reaching up pretty high. You've got almost 60, getting up into the 64 dew point up near Owensboro, Kentucky. Your dew points are getting down, and your dew points are getting up into the low 70s in Louisiana, up into around 70 in Mississippi. Dangerous setup here. Let's look at our Cape setup as well. Let's look at our Cape setup really quickly. One second. Why is this like this? That's fine. Here's our Cape. Whoa, big numbers on the 18Z. Stretching up into, yeah, get pretty far up. Look at that. I mean, whoa, look at this. It's some Cape. We're getting some decent Cape up there. This is some good buoyancy, some good lift up here, pushing up in Iowa and Minnesota as well. You're not going to have the same shear up there, though. So right here, that's where it gets real concerning. Right here, guys. So this is, again, yep. This is Saturday morning. This is around the time. That we're looking at here. This crazy 3.6 sig torp param on our sounding. So if I actually were to go to that exact time, we would be really looking at right here in Louisiana. Yep. Look at this. That's basically what we're looking at there. Significant hail. Supercell. Wow. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'm looking at some of these soundings for the first time. So bear with me. Bear with me. It's 3,000 surface Cape. Are you kidding me? Jesus. 0 sin. Louisiana, man. Southeastern Louisiana. Looking at there, I'm a little let me look at the Storm Prediction Center's latest updates here. I think this enhanced is going to stretch back here. I think we could even get a moderate into southeastern Louisiana. They have the enhanced on Saturday through Mississippi and Alabama, but I think this is wrong. I think this enhanced is going to push down here, and we could even get a moderate down here in southeastern Louisiana, pushing up into central southern Mississippi and into Alabama as well. Just based on these soundings. But there's still time for this to adjust, obviously. So yeah, there's still time for this to adjust. Pretty crazy, though. All right. Let me start answering some questions. The Euro, the GFS has kind of fallen apart, and the Euro is going really strong on this. We have the NAM. We have the NAM 00Z coming in right now. This is going to be big for us. Yali, I appreciate that. Anna Maria, I appreciate you. Once this loads up too, this is going to be big for us. Our 18Z, you can see what our 18Z and our NAM did for us. You can start to see the system moving in. We really want this 00Z though. So, any severe weather for Western North Carolina? Potentially. As I said, you usually see these expand as you get closer in time. They don't want to make it that big yet because we're still so far out. So, I mean, you could take a look and judge based on the future radar and Cape projections on the radar. If you were to have This surface low is really pumping and cranking here. It might get torn apart over the mountains here. So you might end up being fine in kind of your low elevation North Carolina. Like Asheville, southwestern North Carolina might have to worry. But right now, the Carolinas don't look too bad. Although I would expect I would not be surprised if you got a slight or marginal out here. I don't see you guys getting an enhanced. But you could go slight or marginal out here, which is still a decent severe weather setup. We'll have to wait and see. We'll definitely get some good updates on that with our 00Z tonight. And once we get into the 3-day and 4-day outlooks from the SPC. Oh, southwestern. Yeah, that's the area. You are currently in a slight risk already. So, yeah. Is there likely to be tornadoes for Texas? Really, this severe weather event, we'll take a look at the 5-day outlook. This is where it starts. This is where everything starts to crank up Friday. So if we were to take a look at the timeline here, when these storms start to crank up, here they go, right? So we would say right about here. So this would be Friday afternoon into late afternoon is when we have to start watching southeastern Texas. That's where the severe weather. That's when our low-level jet starts to kick in. So if we go to our 850 millibar jet, and you notice we get pushing to Friday, we've got nothing over Texas, right? We've got nothing over Texas as we're moving into Friday. And then suddenly we get into Friday morning, and boom, there's that low-level jet. Our low-pressure system down here is at around 975 millibars and deepening. And look at this. Look at this jet that starts to punch in through Texas. Now, we're not concerned really with Dallas-Fort Worth and out west, although we could see that shift slightly west because as this jet kicks in, it's going to start pulling this heat and moisture off the Gulf. That's why, because of where it's kicking in, that's why we're watching kind of right to the east of Dallas-Fort Worth. And this is when things start to get really unstable. And, we're seeing parts of Kentucky, we're seeing 70 knot 70 knot LLJ winds. So, that's equivalent to 85 plus mile per hour winds, hurricane strength gusts through portions of, the Mississippi Valley up through Tennessee and Kentucky, Arkansas. And then we have the secondary event. So you can see that kind of moves out and that moves up through Missouri as well into southern Illinois and Indiana. And then you get a second event. Boom, right there. This one to me is even more concerning. 85 knot, that's 100 mile per hour gust near the surface in Tennessee. So, that's something to watch out for. That's a lot of shear, basically. Is that bad for tornadoes? I'm scared of tornadoes. Like I said, right now, if I had to take a look at this and say what's the most concerning look, I would say this region Saturday. I think this enhanced is going to move down, and I think we're going to get a moderate through here. But I wouldn't sleep on Friday. I wouldn't sleep on this either. I know that tornado chasers are really talking about this. This isn't really Friday. It's Friday evening into Saturday morning. This is like Friday night into Saturday morning. And then the other one's Saturday into Saturday night. A lot of storm chasers have been talking about Western Kentucky, even though it's not too much in the enhanced. A lot of storm chasers have been talking about kind of this region out a little bit farther east of this enhanced. I don't know what they're seeing. I kind of do know what they're seeing, but I think the dew points are going to be stretching up it through here at the right time as that lower level jet's kicking in. So that's maybe more, but anywhere here could get a strong tornado on Saturday. But I'd say this kind of region is what storm chasers are really talking about. Tornado chasers, and then again, I'm concerned with our Saturday event stretching a little bit, and this slight also stretching out. We'll probably, like I said, I think we'll get a moderate on that. Nashville, good threat, decent one, yeah, decent threat in Nashville. So just have a way to get weather alerts, guys. This is springtime. We've got about 2 plus months of this, really 3 months of this. So we're in a weak La Nina. La Ninas tend to be 2 to 3 times more active than El Ninos, and that's not an exaggeration. When you're in a La Nina, a lot of La Nina seasons can have twice or even 3 times the amount of tornadoes as an El Nino. Why? Because you have a weaker jet stream that tends to have a lot of ridges and ridges and troughs. Okay, it's weak and it's kind of wobbling around. You have an El Nino, you have a strong jet stream. What this type of jet stream pattern, it's called meridional troughing. What it does is allow cold air to sink, warm air to rise. You get a lot more kind of interaction between opposite air boundaries, and that causes a lot more instability in the atmosphere. You can also get those really nice southwesterly winds when you have these kind of troughs digging with the La Nina type pattern. That's an oversimplification. That's an oversimplification of it, but that's what's going on. We've got our, like I said last stream, we've got our Gulf that's 1.5 degrees Celsius above average as well. A lot of people are like, so 1.5 degrees Celsius above average in water temperatures is significant. It's not like it's significant. So, what are our water temperatures down here right now? I don't think. Let me see if I can see what our water temperatures are down here right now. Can I get it? Let's see. Let's look. Let's go to clouds, fog, waves, swell, sea temperature. All right, this isn't going to give me. I want this. So, wow. I don't know if this buoy is correct, but 83, I think this is probably incorrect, but potentially mid to high 70s down here in the Gulf already in the season. Now, for those of you who don't know, for tropical development, someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you want water temps at around 74 degrees or above for tropical development. That's going to give you enough lift for tropical cyclogenesis. So, I mean, you've got a lot of waters here that are already primed for tropical development, guys, and it's March 10th. So this is fuel. This is fuel for buoyancy, for lift. That's going to be being pulled up into the States. Again, we are expecting, most of the experts are actually more concerned about Dixie Alley in early tornado season more than Tornado Alley. So that does include Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, portions of northwestern Georgia, western South Carolina, western North Carolina, Tennessee, kind of Kentucky, southeastern Missouri, southern Indiana, southern Illinois kind of region. Dixie Alley is really more like this. And then Tornado Alley is more. Let me get these stupid temperatures off. Tornado Alley is more, your classic Tornado Alley is more like this. Your Dixie Alley is more like this. You've got your Hoosier Alley up here. So this is kind of more the concern. And that makes sense based on, and that's what we're looking at right now. If you look at our 5-day and 6-day outlooks, more of a Dixie Alley setup like we've been consistently seeing. This one has potential. This one I think has the highest potential for SIGTORs, significant tornadoes. You have 2+ down in this region specifically, in my opinion. But anyone who's in any of these slighter enhanced risk right now needs to watch out. And anyone who's not, who's near it, just know that these risk zones likely a lot of times expand and get more severe as time gets closer. So just like I said, have a way to get severe weather alerts on the weekend if you're out here. 99.9999999% of people will be perfectly fine. We'll just get some wind and rain. But, it's better to be safe than sorry. What's going on, Sassy? Do I think the Chicago suburbs will be fine? There's some decent cape getting up there. The shear isn't going to be fantastic. You're not really going to have the dew points for a strong. You could get an EF0, EF1 up there near Chicago, which can do some damage to property and tree limbs. But I don't, we're not seeing any like life-threatening tornado setup up there in the Midwest. But again, things are developing, so it's best just to stay updated. AK likes. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the follows and subs. I appreciate you guys. The vortex is still expected. It's stretching and splitting. Let me do this for you. Let me do this for you. Let's take a look at this. Am I zoomed in here? There we go. Let's go to stratosphere. So this is what's still being projected. Look at this. If we were seeing this in January, this would be absolutely records broken from coast to coast. Huge stratospheric. We saw something like this. I mean, we had the coldest January in the United States since 1983. Because we had this up here. We had a stratospheric warming event. Same thing we're seeing right now. Same thing. So, you know, there's still thoughts. There's still the thought that late March, there's going to be like a weird, huge late March cool down out here. Like really late, like last week of March. You know, but again, I don't know, because we see this negative PNA, even though we're having this stratospheric cooling event, stratospheric warming event up here, we're seeing this negative PNA setup where we're seeing kind of a ridge that wants to build out east. And I think that's going to offset it. I think we're going to see that really, really cold air because of this out west. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing models calling for multiple feet of snow all across the Rockies and out west, and multiple blasts of cold air over the next 3 weeks. I think a ridge is going to push in and just ignore this, which is... Guys, the stratosphere is weird. It doesn't act like the troposphere. There's no weather in the stratosphere, typically. Very little. 99% of all weather happens in the troposphere. So the stratosphere has you know, very confusing interactions with the troposphere. But it is typical when you see a stratospheric warming event up to our north, you have sinking cold air down to the south. But if you have a jet stream that wants to build a ridge out in the east, it's all just going to sink into the west. This is Pivotal Weather. I use Weather Bell, Pivotal Weather, Radar Omega, Windy. Pivotal Weather is this one right here. That one in Joplin, Kansas in 2011 was crazy. Wasn't that an EF5? Yeah, it was a 2-mile wide EF5. The tornado was 2 miles wide. Can you guys imagine? Can you guys imagine a 2-mile wide EF5? Just 200 miles per hour. 200 mile per hour winds, 2 miles wide. I mean, EF5s bend steel. They can throw steel hard, or they can throw metal hard enough to bend it in half. What does it look like for Northwest Ohio? Pretty interesting. Let's look at what's going on with a couple different things here. Let's look at our most unstable cape. This pushes up into... You get some okay cape on... Look what's going on Friday afternoon up here in Iowa. So this would be around 3 p.m. 4 p.m. Well, you guys are an hour behind. This would be around 3 p.m. for you out here in Iowa. Let's get a sounding. Did you say northwestern Iowa? Got a cap here. So just for those of you who don't know, I'll explain it again. This right here is your parcel of air. Your parcel of air up here is much warmer, and this red line right here is the at least the forecast atmospheric temperature. Your parcel of air is warmer than your atmospheric temperature. That parcel of air is going to rise much quicker and expand, which is what causes thunderstorms. But you notice down here, your parcel of air is cooler than the atmosphere around it. That's called a cap. And if you don't break that cap, your thunderstorms won't form. But sometimes that cap can act like a whip. And when it breaks, there's an explosion of cape up here, which can cause some very severe thunderstorms. And a lot of times with these type of setups, you do get the cap that breaks. So there's a little bit of potential. There's nothing crazy. I mean, forecast about 1,300, most unstable, and forecast cape is somewhat significant. Your dew points are a little bit low. You want a little bit more moisture content than 50-degree dew points. You'd want this in the mid to high 50s. So this is something that's going to keep your tornado parameters pretty low. Let's see here. You know, there's potential in Iowa, but again, I think Iowa, especially as you get into northern Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, Minnesota, EF0, EF1 is possible on it with the setup like this, but your strong ones are going to be somewhere down here. You know, specifically through here. But there are some params up there. I mean, it's not impossible with this setup. I mean, I would actually be surprised if we didn't see one or two a little bit farther north up, potentially in Iowa, northern Illinois, maybe even Minnesota. You'll have conditions up there that you'll have some shear. You'll have some, you know, you'll have enough spin in the atmosphere up there, and you'll have a decent amount of buoyancy. You could get something spinning up there. Fane, I appreciate you. Uncle Frank, what's going on? What do I think for Northwest Georgia on Saturday? Let's take a look at Atlanta here. Let's take a sounding out of Atlanta. Let's do that. Let's do this real quick, guys. Yeah, let's take a sounding out of Atlanta. Let's see. Georgia. What are we on? Our Euro? Okay. Okay. What is it? It's oh wait, am I in Georgia? Hey guys, what's the Atlanta? Is it Fulton County? Right? Let's take a look at this. I think it's Fulton County. Okay. Okay. So so let's look at this. Saturday. So you get some instability, you get a little instability on Thursday. Nothing crazy. You actually get some interesting tornado parameters potential Thursday afternoon, but not much. And then as we get into, let's look at this. Saturday, here we go. I'm trying to find kind of the timing where you'd probably, I mean, the parameters aren't crazy. Nothing's looking too insane. Some strong capping happening down here. You have, yeah, your dew points are, I don't know. This is pretty good news if you don't want a tornado. Pretty good news. Some good shear here, but you have no cape. Not looking too bad. Yeah, I mean, strong shear here and zero cape. So you need cape and shear and moisture, and you're not having it all at the same time. Strong shear here, low dew points, low cape, and then the time was when you have a little bit more cape in here. This is Atlanta, around Atlanta. Now you've got some okay cape, and you have no wind shear. You have low wind shear, low SRH. So I'm not seeing anything too crazy for you guys in Georgia. This thing's really going to be dying out as it heads off east. I think Alabama's it's still going to be kind of cranking a little bit through Alabama, but it's going to be weakening as it moves towards Georgia. Let's see here. So, you know, will we see this thing expand? Will we see the slight? You can see they still have a slight. So here's what I would say. These meteorologists at the Storm Prediction Center are good. They're seeing something concerning. That's, you know, they're still including Atlanta in this slight risk. Here's what's happening in Atlanta. I'm seeing shear. I'm seeing some good cape. I'm seeing some decent moisture content, but they're not happening at the same time. And that's when you get a bust. That's when you end up, like, it looks like you have all the ingredients, but they're not they're not working together at the same time. I think they're including everything out here in the slight because, you know, the timing of all these different, you know, the timing of these events can change. And it just makes sense to keep this slight risk when you see all of these different ingredients still, you know, moving through that region. They're all happening out here at the same time. You've got your buoyancy shear. You've got everything happening at the same time here, and really high dew points. All, you know, sometime this could change, but they're really timed up well over Louisiana and Mississippi especially. They have a documentary on Netflix about it. Is it out? Is the documentary out? Can we look at the polar vortex? Yes, Liam, we are. Oh, maybe I just read that late. You probably saw me just look at it. It's gonna affect the west. It's not gonna affect the east. At least that's what it looks like right now. What's up with the northeastern Arkansas for Friday? Strong tornadoes or weak tornadoes? Please answer. Let's look at a city. What's a city I can take a look at? Jonesboro. Let me see if I can get a. Oh wow. Let me see if I can get a Jonesboro sounding here. Let's see if I can get a Jonesboro sounding. Let's see how bad Arkansas could potentially look, guys. Let's take a quick look at it. 1 second. Let me get this switched here. Arkansas. Can I get Jonesboro? Arkansas. Okay. Jonesboro Municipal. Okay. What do we think? Okay. All right. So there's your first big look at potential. Strong capping, but you've got decent shear here, high SRH levels. Your SIG Tour is at 1.1. This does give you potential. Anything for a 1, anything a 1 or above says you could get an EF2 plus tornado. That's the simplest way to look at this if you don't want to look at SRH shear or any of that other stuff. 1 second. I would say, you know, anything 200 or above means you've got a lot of rotation in the atmosphere there. We all know, well, not maybe some of us don't know what shear is, but you can see shear here. We have winds moving up southeasterly down at the surface, and then suddenly they're moving almost, you know, wanting to switch over to westerly as you get up to the 500 millibar level halfway up in the atmosphere. That's shear. And your shear moving at 29 knots shear, it's pretty high. So, okay, so that's the first concerning time up there, and this is northeastern Arkansas, and this would be Friday around 3 p.m. Some good cape. You've got a 1.1 SIG Tour param, which means EF2 plus tornadoes are possible Friday afternoon. Let's move forward, and then boom, we don't have to move very far. Friday evening, closer to 9 p.m. Whoa. Now, crazy rotation in the atmosphere here, down at the surface. High shear. Your surface cape is low, and that's what's keeping your SIG Tour param down there. So, I'd say Saturday afternoon still looking a little bit more intense. So, Friday afternoon. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. High shear, high SRH, yes, surface cape. That's the issue there. Friday afternoon. 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m. I would have awaiting weather alerts. That's an unfortunate time. People are getting out of school. If I was up there, I'd pick my kid up early. Although we have to see, because maybe the storm speeds up, you know? We gotta see. We gotta wait and see a little bit more time because things can still change. All right, sorry. I'll get back to chat. Let me answer some more questions. Can I? Oh no, I'm gonna start doing soundings for everyone. They showed every detail of it. Oh my god, yeah. The radar hook. Oh my god, it was incredible. Okay, I'll do one more. Okay, I'll do one more sounding. I mean, I could do a couple more soundings for you guys, but I wanna. It takes me longer to answer questions when I'm doing soundings. Do a couple more real quick. Oh god, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Bentonville, Arkansas. I don't know if we have. Oh, we do. We do. What area of Arkansas is that in? Bentonville? Is that central, north, south? Why do you guys have such high cape on? Oh my god. Why do you guys have such high cape on Wednesday? Oh, north? What the heck's going on Wednesday? Okay. Luckily, your rotation and shears not impressive Wednesday, but interesting cape. You might have a chance for some thunderstorms Wednesday. All right. So not too bad. This isn't as bad. This isn't as bad as whatever the other place in Arkansas I just looked at. I think it was Jonesboro. This isn't as bad. Decent. Look, I mean, you don't even have a 1. Your SIG is under 1.7. I mean, you could get something. You've got decent rotation shear. Your capes, okay. This is a much safer look. This is a much safer look on Friday. As of now, again, things change. As of now, the Euro is a little bit more concerned. A little bit more concerned with the Northeast. Was that? Oh, I was looking at Northeastern. I was looking at Northeastern Arkansas, wasn't I? Yeah, that's where Jonesboro is. Nashville, Tennessee timing. Here, 1 second, guys. Yeah, let's look at our Nashville, Tennessee timing. Right now, it's looking like things are going to start kind of popping off. Nashville at midnight on Friday. You know, into 1, 2 a.m. on Saturday. Although there's going to be a secondary event. That's kind of your first event. And then here's your secondary event, which is going to be Saturday afternoon. So you're going to get the first kind of low, your first kind of squall line of thunderstorms, possibly discrete cells, which are a little bit more dangerous, through the night. Friday, late Friday, 10 p.m. through maybe 4 a.m. on Saturday. And then you're going to get a tiny little break Saturday, maybe around breakfast time. And then it comes Saturday afternoon, you get your second wave through Nashville here. So you're going to have kind of 2 severe setups within 6 hours of each other. So you can see this. You've got your first one here that's associated with this low. And then you've got a surface low developing on the southern end of this system, a separate surface low developing on the southern end of this system. This one I think has some stronger LLJ. You've got lower level winds wanting to kick up around 100 miles per hour, 85 knots, just above your head, 900, 850 millibar level. So yeah, this is really a Friday through Saturday event. Friday afternoon through Saturday night event for a lot of the Central Plains pushing out east. St. Louis timing? Sure. Yeah, your first event, I mean, so pushing in. It looks like it wants to start pushing in around 6 p.m. on Friday. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It's 100 hours out. Sometimes these storms speed up a little bit, slow down a little bit. It's not going to speed up or slow down by a day. It could speed up or slow down by 5-6 hours. Typically, once you're within 96 hours, you'll see these storms move 6 hours forward, 6 hours back. Possibly, they don't really. You don't see the timing move much more than that. But right now, this looks like a Friday. What did I say? 6 p.m. type timing. 6 to 9 into St. Louis. And you guys only have that first event. Unfortunately for people out here in Unfortunately for people out here in southern Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, you guys have 2 events. You have 2 severe weather events back to back. So specifically, this region right here is going to have 2 back-to-back severe weather events. You know, which is kind of just increases the chances of some damaging winds and stuff like that. Tornadoes. I would love to storm chase. I've got a 2-year-old and another baby that's about to be born, and my daughter's due in April. April's coming up. I don't think I could storm chase right now. Timing, Birmingham, Alabama. Let's take a look. As of right now, our timing for Birmingham. First setup looks to be around midnight. Friday, midnight, going into Saturday morning, maybe Saturday 2, 3 a.m. You get maybe an hour break, and then here comes your second system. You don't really get any break at all. I mean, you're looking at severe weather chances from midnight all the way through. Wow. It's like midnight to midnight for you. Friday at midnight or Saturday, we'll call it Saturday 1 a.m. into Sunday 1 a.m. It's like a 24-hour event for you guys in Birmingham. The whole time isn't going to be tornado chances, because you're going to get, what's likely going to happen is if you get a lot of rain from this first event, you're going to have some rain cooled air here, which means you're not going to get a ton of strong updrafts, a ton of lift with this second event. So if you get enough rain from this first event, your severe threat is really going to decrease with the second event. You know what I'm saying? Fargo, North Dakota. I don't think you have to worry about severe weather, but a blizzard you may have to worry about. Right now, it looks like your blizzard conditions want to be cranking at around 6 a.m.-ish Saturday morning. Give or take 3 or 4 hours. Right now, it looks like a 6 a.m.-ish type event where you could see 2+ inches per hour with 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts or more. Same with you down through eastern, northeastern Nebraska, eastern South Dakota. And we could get some back end snow all the way as far south as Minneapolis, Minnesota, but we'll see if that snow wraps around the back. But central to northern Minnesota is going to see blizzard conditions as well on Saturday. Very likely. When I say blizzard, I mean snow. I think to be a blizzard, you need, is it 2 inches, 1 inch, 2 inches per hour or more, and over 45 mile or over 50 mile per hour gusts, or over 45 mile per hour gusts, something like that. You have to hit a certain thing, and you likely will. This will likely be 2+ inches of snow per hour with strong enough winds to be classified as a blizzard. Maybe even a strong one. There are hail chances with all of these systems. Yeah, so once we get up, you can actually look at hail on here. Once we get into your 2-day convective outlook, we'll see our hail parameters, but they'll be pretty high. Especially down through Louisiana, south and eastern Louisiana, central to south and eastern Louisiana, really just not northwestern Louisiana. But where you have that cape is where you're going to see the most hail. So this is where you're going to see, I would say, big hail through here. Not for everyone, but for some of you guys in there, you're going to see some big hail. Wish a NATO would spawn on my place of work, then disappear right after. Well, that's kind of you, so it just doesn't hurt anyone, but you don't have to go to work. In a perfect world. Any more snow for Central VA? It's going to be hard. We are warming, man. We're getting a ridge. We're getting a ridge building up out east. Laddie, I appreciate you. Marlo, what's going on? Does Houston have to worry about anything, any for severe weather? I would keep a watch out. Right now, you'll probably be putting a marginal. Well, I don't know, because this stuff's really wanting to stay up to the north and east. I would just pay attention Friday. I would pay attention Friday. We could see something down here. We could see this kind of tail end of this, storm system dig down a little bit further. We could see some twisty boys trying to get themselves together down here. Right now, the SPC has you in the clear, but you're pretty close that you'd want to pay attention because these things do expand. Risk zones do expand sometimes. I don't want no help because the last bad storm we had here in Granbury, we had major hail. It kept me up for hours. What do you have, a metal roof? I guess it'd be allowed on anything. Celine. I know we just finished winter, or pretty close to. But what do you think our winter will be like next year? I really love winter, so I'm just I love winter too. It all depends. Because we had so many good opportunities this winter. Especially for huge mid-Atlantic and New England coastal storms. We had about 4 different nor'easter systems that kind of ended up falling off the coast or being suffocated down into Virginia, Maryland, Delaware. But obviously, like, portions of the Southeast saw crazy snow records. Portions of inner New England saw crazy snow records. Kentucky did pretty good. Right now, just based off the Enzo cycle, because I'm not going to predict the MJO that far out, I don't think next winter would be expected to be as good as this one snow-wise for portions of the south and east, but it'd be heavier snow for portions of the Pacific Northwest and Great Lake region. Because it looks like we may actually end up being in a moderate La Nina next winter like we were supposed to be this winter. But I could be completely wrong. That's just me thinking about kind of where our Enzo is going to end up setting up. We've seen weirder things happen. So, who knows? Really, it's too far to tell. You've been spot on for Kansas City lately. Do you see any more snow for us? It's gonna be tough. We got some big troughing, some decent troughing happening here. Let's go back to our 12Z Euro and see what it has in the long range for us. It does have a decent snowstorm, blizzard type system through Iowa, Wisconsin. But again, are we gonna get that cold enough air down to the south? We may see a trough try to dig in and put some snow back down into here before it's all said and done with winter. This is where we're seeing our troughing happening over the next 2 to 3 weeks, our major troughing. So it's not impossible, but it's going to be real tough for anyone who's not at elevation or up in these northern tier states to get snow. You either got to be up here or you got to be, at elevation at this point. We've got some warm air pulling in off this Gulf to the south with the way our jet stream's setting up. Yeah, let me... Yeah, this was the hook on the Joplin tornado. For anyone who wants to know what a really, really dangerous tornado looks like on radar. There you go. Oh, what'd I do? What the heck? Every time I try to do this, strong inflow here. dry air feeding the tornado. Rear flank downdraft. Here's your tornado right here. You can literally see it, the rotation right here. This was an EF. This was like a 2 mile wide EF5 tornado, basically. If you see this on a radar, run. This was one of the most damaging tornadoes in U.S. history. Nothing significant for Baltimore right now. Got to warm up, and you got some thunderstorms that want to move over on Sunday. Right now, it's not looking like it's going to be too severe. We could see that change though. You can see our jet really starting to kick in at the end there. So we'll see. That could change. We could see a severe risk, potentially marginal up to a slight on the coast on Sunday. Right now, it's not looking like we have the Cape out there though. Or really the shear. What's Milwaukee looking like for Friday? Friday, pretty good. Saturday, you could get some severe weather. Technically, you might even be in a marginal risk on Saturday. But right now, you guys aren't looking too bad. It's looking like just some heavy rain and some wind for you guys on Saturday. Friday looks okay though. Ew. Let's go Gophers. Yeah, my wife went to Minnesota. What's up, Squishy? Omaha, Nebraska. Looking pretty safe right now. Again, I always say, if you're around where these risk zones are, pay attention. Sometimes they expand. So, now could Omaha get in on some snow from this system? Probably not. Probably just going to be rainfall, but there's some snow trying to hook around the back there. Let's look at what our 18Z does there. 18Z is trying to put some snow into eastern Nebraska. It was, Charles. Man, now I want to go watch that. Now I want to go watch that before bed. On that, yeah. Is it? I thought it didn't come out till like the 16th or 17th of March. Hold up, I gotta check this. Let me see. What is... I think it's... Oh, I think it is out. Cool. Bob, I appreciate that. Bob Bartlett. I appreciate you, Bob. Evansville, Indiana sounding. Yeah, sure. Let's go take a look at Evansville, Indiana. Let's take a look here. Why don't we, guys? Let's see if we have any sort of significant tornado parameters for Evansville, Indiana. We'll go to Evansville Regional Airport. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Huh. While we have good Cape, we've got zero rotation and shear. So that is why your SIG-TOR is at a 0 here. Okay, so that would be Thursday. But let's move forward. Okay, so let's look at our secondary event here. So this is going to be probably our main one. Right here. SRH is okay. Shear is okay. You almost got a SIG-TOR at around 1. So, I mean, right here, Friday at around 3 p.m. looks to be, you know, again, give or take 3 to 4 hours here. You've got parameters for maybe an EF1, EF2 tornado. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you have the ingredients for the for the potential for a tornado of that strength. And then we move forward a little bit into Saturday morning. This actually looks more significant. Good rotation, decent shear, good enough cape, and that's why you have a 1.0 sig tor. So these are the type of conditions that could give you an EF2 tornado, EF2 plus tornado here. This would be around, again, around, give or take some hours, 9 a.m. on Saturday through Evansville, Indiana. That's when it looks like you'll have your most significant setup. As always, appreciate you doing this, sir. Gulf Shores, Alabama for next week. Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate that. For next week, I mean, it's pretty far out. Some good weather, though, to kick off the week. All the way through until about we don't really see anything until about Thursday. When we could, we'll have to watch this. We'll have to watch this trough here. We'll have to watch this system. This could be a severe weather setup. Right now, it looks pretty weak, but we'll have to watch that. This would end up being a Thursday, Friday event, and then beautiful weather through the weekend. So, really just watching Thursday and Friday next week. For the most part, it looks like a good week till you get into Sunday evening. For the most part, it looks like a good week. Tallahassee, Florida for Sunday. I don't think Tallahassee, Florida is going to really see much with this. I don't think so. I went to Florida State, by the way. I don't think Tallahassee, Florida is going to see much with this. Let's take a look. Not bad. Actually, Sunday morning. Sunday morning around 7 a.m. There's no surface cape. There's no surface cape. Strong rotation in shear, but you have no buoyancy. So, not seeing much for Tally. Not seeing much. We'll have to watch. If you're going to see anything, it's probably going to be Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I'm going to watch it tonight, Charles. I'll get off here in a little bit. I'm going to watch it tonight. Scottsboro, Alabama will get any severe weather. I need to know as I'm moving. Well, when are you moving? Is it going to be during this event? Let me see something real quick. I wonder if they have that on here. Scottsboro. Oh, they do. Man, Weatherbell has everything. They better. I pay $70 a month for this. I better be able to see what I want to. Why does my lighting look so weird in my room to me? This is not my normal lighting. You guys notice that? Did I change my camera settings? Am I going crazy? Hold up. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. Okay. Scottsboro, Alabama. Let's take a look at you. All right. You know, if you're gonna see a tornado, if you have any, this is weird. There's no rotation here. I don't know why the SIG Tor is at a 0.8 because you have very low shear and rotation. I will say this: your supercell composite is looking pretty impressive. Saturday morning, so this could be associated with strong winds and hail. Saturday morning. So, but we're not really seeing surface cape, so you wouldn't really expect a tornado out of this. So you guys don't look like you're going to see anything more than maybe some wind, potentially strong downpours, and maybe some hail out of this. As of now, things change. That's why I look at this stuff every day. Matt, what's going on? All right, Matt, pick me a city. Pick me a city in Mississippi, in northwestern Mississippi. Let's look at our. Let's do this. Maybe I should look at here. Let's go. Look. Actually, I know where I should look here. I know where I should look. Let me do this. Let's look somewhere in Kentucky. Somewhere completely random in Kentucky. Huh. It's not a bad look. Not a bad look. What do you think about that? Interesting. Yeah, I want to look at Jackson too, actually. Jackson, Mississippi. Let's take a look at that. Is that Jackson Medgar International Airport? Probably. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right, guys, you ready for this? Anyone here in Mississippi or around Jackson, Mississippi? 2.6 SIG Tor per AM. Significant sounding here. Significant tornado potential, Jackson, Mississippi. Timing for this, 3 a.m. Saturday right now. Things will change. But again, that's pretty aggressive. I think one of the most aggressive ones I've seen so far, though, was Louisiana. I showed this to Matt earlier. This sounding right here. SIG Tor at 3.6. So this is south and eastern Louisiana, especially eastern Louisiana. Saturday afternoon, definitely need to have a way to get weather alerts. This is a very, very significant look and sounding for Saturday afternoon. What's good? Yeah, shout out Mesomat, guys. If you don't follow Mesomat, MESOMATT, he live streams these events typically from start to finish. He's done like 72-hour severe weather live streams straight. He'll probably be on for most of the day, Friday and Saturday, covering this. He knows a lot more about severe weather, tornadoes, and all that type of stuff than I do. I'm a hurricane guy, I know all weather. I love all weather. I'm a hurricane guy. I love my hurricanes. But he's really good at this stuff. He's really, really, really good at it, calling it live and calling tornadoes on the ground or tornado warnings before they're warned, significantly before they're warned. So Friday, Saturday, he'll probably be streaming, and he's a really great person to watch if you want to get a warning early. So Mesomat, MESOMATT. Yes, highly volatile here. You see the you see the supercell composite? Oh my gosh. I don't know if your screen's big enough. It says 10 to 12 inches of snow for up north in Minnesota. Yeah, it's not going to be snowing for a crazy amount of time, but you're going to get, when you get a 9, you know, let's say the Euro's correct and you've got a 978 millibar low moving into your backyard. This is going to be very, very, this is going to be 2+ inch an hour snow. So doesn't need to snow for that long. Confused Blom, what's going on? Patrick, Megan, Michaela? Yeah, that's how you say it. What's going on, guys? I appreciate you. Hey, Matt, I was told that the Joplin documentary or whatever movie is out on Netflix now. I don't know if you saw it yet. Quincy, Florida. You know, Florida's not going to have any crazy soundings. I think with this event, let me look at Sunday down in Florida from our last run. Central Orlando and North and on the Panhandle will probably need to watch out a little bit. You are going to have some okay Cape and some okay wind shear Sunday afternoon. Really, it's looking like strong thunderstorms in Florida. Although we'll see how things change. Mezzo, you just switched from YouTube to TikTok. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight. Again, Hayesville, North Carolina. I don't think. Where is that? Oh, you are in southwestern North Carolina. I don't think I'm going to have a way to get a sounding down there. I mean, I can do it the good old-fashioned way, but I think this looks to be a Saturday afternoon event for you guys. Because you are in... I'm not going to get a good sounding down there. You are in the slight risk. Yeah, these soundings aren't showing me what's actually going to be happening there. Let me go back to the 18Z. Let me see if I can get a good sounding out of there. Let's do this. I'm not going to get a good sounding out of there. I don't think that we have that on Weather Bell either. Let me go to North Carolina. North Carolina, come on and raise up. I wonder if Hayesville is on here. No. Unfortunately. Really getting nothing. One second. I actually really... Now I want this. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm in southwest Minnesota, and my birthday is on the 14th. Is it going to be ruined by a blizzard? Not if it's on the 14th. At least right now with the timing of this system. You could have some thunderstorms moving in that night, though. Michaela, I appreciate you. Star Map Polaris. Thank you, Mezmat. Love you, Mezzo. What severe risk do I think Chicago will get? I could see you guys getting stretched into the slight. The odds you get putting in enhanced are very low. I could see you getting moved into the slight. You'll almost definitely be in a marginal once we get our 3-day outlook, but you could be in a slight. That enhance is going to stay down to the south, though. Originally it looked like our dew points were going to be pulled a little bit farther to the north, but I think our dew points are really going to collapse as they get into central Illinois, northern Missouri. Let's see. Can you please do Lexington, Kentucky on the thing you pay $70 a month for? Sure. Yeah, and then guys, I'm gonna be posting more about this tomorrow, and I'll try to go on. I'll try to get on earlier tomorrow. I wanted to get on at 8:30 or 9 tonight, but my schedule's you guys know that my schedule been kicking my butt. I will tell you this: I'm going on 2 months. I'll go to Lexington, Kentucky. I'm going on 2 months paternity leave in about a month from now, and so I will be actually on a lot more. Because there'll be times when, the baby's napping and stuff, and I'm just going to be on here doing weather. So I'll actually, even though I'll be dealing with the baby, my toddler entertains himself. So it'll just be, I'll be on a lot over, actually when tornado season's really cranking late April into May. That'll be fun. Let's see here. Let's go into Lexington, Kentucky. Do they not? They don't have Lexington, Kentucky on here? What the heck, man? What does Lexington buy? I'm going to do Frankfurt. Why don't they have it on there? Am I blind? Is that where Louisville International Airport or Louisville International Stanford Field is? Or Louisville WFO? Do you guys see the airport in Lexington? Because there's one in Lexington, right? Let's see. What's the airport in Lexington, Kentucky? Bluegrass Airport. Lex. I didn't see that one coming. Oh, there we go. Bam. All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you beat me to it. I should have just looked at chat. Okay. You guys do have a decent, Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon around 12 o'clock. Some decent rotation down here at the surface and surface shear. And we'll see. This cape may be a little bit higher. You got you around 700 to 800 cape. You've got a 1.0 sig tor here. So, yeah. This is when you'd probably want to be paying attention. Middle of the day on Saturday. That's not a bad looking sounding. There's some potential weirdly also for around 12 in the afternoon. Actually not much SRH here. A little bit of potential on Sunday afternoon too, but not much. Saturday afternoon, I'd have a way to get weather alerts in around Lexington, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky is going to be, it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be very similar to that Saturday afternoon, maybe a little bit earlier. My wife said, streaming a lot more, leaving me with the baby and the toddler. I said when they're napping. She's watching my stream. Uh-oh. Listen, I will have a lot more free time even watching a toddler and baby than I do with my current work. With work and a toddler, I'd rather have a toddler and baby and no work. I mean, I spend just in traffic getting to work each week about 3 hours a day, and I go into the office 4 days a week. So I spend 12 hours a week just in traffic for work. So if you count my traffic each day, 11 times, man, yeah, I'm like 60 hours a week work. I mean, will I don't know. Babies do take up a lot of time. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half to work, an hour and a half back, sometimes longer. It sucks. And I'm only 20 miles away from the city, but that's 95 south for you in Philly. So, horrible. Is there any truth to the polar vortex reversal? Well, no. There's no. Polar vortex can't reverse. If it did, the polar... Yeah, no, humans would go extinct. I think what you're talking about is the magnetic field reversal. And yeah, that happens every 70 years. Magnetic field, I think something like that. Or is it 170? I think it's every 70 years. Magnetic fields can actually flip, reverse, whatever you want to call it. And it does some weird things in the atmosphere, but nothing that really affects us. I think you're talking about the magnetic field. Let me see. Polar vortex reversal. I don't think that's a thing. Polar vortex reversal happens every spring. Okay, but I wouldn't characterize this as a reversal. They're calling it basically a stratospheric heating event. You know, calling it a reversal is very weird. I don't know if I've ever heard it called a reversal. When you have a high enough pressure buildup in the over the Arctic, it just decimates your low pressure. So you don't have a strong cyclonic, you don't have a strong jet stream circling the Arctic. You can end up just having, you don't have the ability to produce a low pressure over the Arctic. So it's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know we called that a polar vortex reversal. I don't think that's something that the term that a lot of people use. Magnetic field reversal, I think, or magnetic field switch, I think, is like every 70 years. Let's see. What would we call it? How often does this happen? Maybe I'll I'll look this up off stream. But I think it's about every 70 years. Cookeville, Tennessee soundings. I live 20 minutes south. Is that Cook or Cokesville? Tennessee. You're the only 10 I see. All right, let's see. I don't think we have one there. I don't see one there. Let me do this. Let me do this real quick. Oh, Cookeville. What major cities around there that I may be able to get a sounding out of? I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll just do this. I'll just do this for you. Not a bad look. Not a bad look Saturday early in the morning. But then this is where things could get a little bit more spicy for you guys up here. Let's pull this back a little bit here. There's your first event. There's your second. Let's see here. It's looking a little bit worse out to your west, out towards Nashville. I really want to get these soundings aren't doing much for me here in pivotal weather. That's why I'm trying to pull them up in Weather Bell, because these are just wrong. I can tell. One second, guys. Good, most unstable Cape. Interesting right here. I mean, timing-wise for the worst weather would probably be here. So Saturday morning around 6 a.m. But you're a little bit farther out to the east, so that'd probably be closer to 9 a.m. right now. Doesn't come out until March 19th. Oh, you got me all hyped. I knew it didn't. I knew it didn't. All right, guys. I gotta get to bed. I will be posting again tomorrow. We're gonna get the NAM looking through here, guys. That's a short range model. We're gonna start getting a look at the NAM tomorrow. That's gonna really change, I think, a lot. We'll see if the NAM agrees with the GFS or Euro. The Euro is much more bullish on this than the GFS. The NAM, I think, is going to favor the Euro, and we're going to hammer down where the biggest risk is going to be. But this could be our first. Man, I'm worried about areas of South and Eastern Louisiana, Mississippi. I'm worried about this event down here. Not exactly during this time frame, but we'll have to see. But potentially up through Kentucky as well, though. I would say really like this. So, but we'll get the updates tomorrow, and we'll get a little bit better look at what our blizzard's going to be doing, moving up to the northern plains, northwestern, midwest, and the Rockies are going to be getting dumped on with snow soon. I appreciate you guys being in here. I appreciate anyone who follows, sub, gift it. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. Papa Connor, what's up, Mezzo? Everyone have a great night. I'll try to get on a little bit earlier tomorrow, and I think I gotta pick up. I'm gonna try to do a long format. I'm gonna try to do a long format video tomorrow, so like a 10+ minute video, so we can really get into the details. Maybe I'll even pull a Mezzo Matt segment into it as well. All right, everyone have a good night. Meme, I appreciate you. Liz G, I appreciate you. Everyone have a good night. Peace.